Hi, everyone. This is Kim with Cowgirl Biz, and we are excited to be here today to talk about all things Google and specifically how to help your business be found on Google. And with all the amazing AI tools that are out there, we also want you to be found by AI for any of your audience that is searching for that. So we have a lot of tips and tricks on what tools to use and how to use them. And we're going to be going through that here as we help you understand more about how to make sure your business is not being ignored by Google or AI. Today, I'm with Katelyn, and I'm going to bring it to the next slide and let her share and introduce herself.
Hi, everyone. My name is Katelyn. I am founder and co-owner of Wildflowers and Barley. We do custom hats. We make a lot of handmade hat and hair accessories. I am also Google certified, so I know a lot of things about Google Analytics, all of the fun things that you need for analyzing data. And I really enjoy helping other business owners learn these things too.
And you've got to talk about that beautiful wall behind you. So let's have you take a moment and share with us what that's all about.
Yeah, so the wall that you see behind me, it's full of hats that me and my business partner have made. We just call it our hat wall because that's what it is, and we switch it out every now and then with different or new things that we've come up with. And we do a lot of DIY hat burning where we teach other people how to do what we do, and so this kind of serves as inspiration for them. So a lot of times people come in, they're very overwhelmed with all the possibilities, and they can at least look at this wall and say, okay, I like this, I like that, and then we can go from there.
I love it. One day I'm going to come visit.
Yeah.
All right. All right, Cowgirls, our mission is to help you with anything web design, any of your branding strategies. If you need help product sourcing or ideation on finding a new product in the industry or finding someone to help you make a new product, we're here for all of that at Cowgirl Biz. And today we're focused on helping you understand Google and AI searches. Today's topics, we'll be talking about how Google and AI decide who gets seen. We'll be talking about the signs that tell you that you might be invisible, the must-have tools for visibility with Google, and then the key metrics to use each of these tools. So what's the difference between Google search and AI search? For years and years, all of us have used Google or Bing or whatever other search tool, and slowly the different tools and browsers have built in different what they call AI searches. So you may not even be using ChatGPT for searching, but what happens is many of the browsers where you do your searches are embedding the AI search tools in them. For example, Gemini is part of the Google realm. And so when you do a search for something, when you do a search for something on Google, oftentimes AI will pop up and give the answer. So part of what makes AI search different is that it is combining and surfing, so to speak, all the different websites, looking for those that are reputable and pulling answers together from multiple sources. AI uses what they call LLM. That is a large language model. And again, that's not necessarily a term that most people understand, but those that are in the tech side of the world use that term to describe the AI tools and what these, it sort of makes sense. If it's pulling data from multiple sources, then these large language models are trained to basically look at millions of web pages, articles, and product descriptions and reviews and pull them all together to help whoever is searching for something. So it's almost like AI search becomes a personal shopper, so to speak, or an assistant for your customer, and it finds the answer for them and only mentions the brands it knows exist. So here's an example. Let's say that your audience might be using, again, they may be on Google and they may be just typing in the search bar some of these questions. What's a unique Western gift for a cowgirl under $50? who sells handcrafted leather purses with fringe, what are some boutique home decor brands with a rustic aesthetic. Any of those searches might be put into Bing or Google or whatever, and their tool will take those and do its AI search and bring back to you something like you see on the right-hand side, where it has a combination of pictures, a combination of all kinds of different brands, and then some of them are hyperlinked and some of them are shown pictures at the bottom. But that is an example of what makes the AI search different than the traditional searches that we've been doing over the years. Katelyn, do you want to comment on this?
Yeah, I think that a lot of people don't, like you said, a lot of people don't realize that AI is now just embedded in search engines like Google and Bing. So making sure that your website with things like SEO, product descriptions, all of that, making sure it's highly available to Google and to these AI searches is vastly important, because that's going to be the difference between someone shopping with you or someone else.
Okay. And as an example, do you know if the images at the bottom are coming up because they're doing Google Ads? Is that something that you have to be doing in order to have your product shown in these?
No, you don't have to be doing sponsored ads for your product to show up, because ultimately Google is trying to show the person searching what they're looking for. However, if there are a lot of people in your industry doing ads, they will get better results than you. So that is something you have to keep in mind.
Very helpful. Okay, so how does Google and AI decide who to show? And we've mentioned a few things, but we're just going to go through these. So Google, as the traditional search engine, ranks its pages and the things it finds related to keywords. We've spent a lot of time talking about that with our Cowgirl Biz audience, related to the quality of your content, the structure of your pages, the page speed, and the backlinks. And for those of you that missed our presentation last week, you can go find it on our YouTube channel. We go into how to run an SEO audit. We have a fantastic, amazing tool that you can run for free. And within a couple minutes, it will provide you with a full report on what you can do to fix certain areas of your website and what things to focus on fixing in order to make it so that your website can be easier found by Google. As for the AI tools, we just spoke about them being related to language models where they're pulling from multiple websites. Again, they are looking for strong SEO, clear branding, reputable content as they're trying to find the best things to pull together and put in front of the person that is searching. If you're not searchable, then you're not suggestible. So for example, if Google can't find you, then obviously the AI tools such as ChatGPT or Gemini or any AI assistant is likely not to find you. Katelyn, can you comment on what this one means, the social media posts?
Oh, which we're looking at. Oh, so they don't read. Okay, so like they're not scanning Facebook or Instagram, looking for your information about your business. So essentially, if it's not on your website, it's not helping you in terms of like product searching. Obviously, you can fix that. There are different things, different apps, especially with Shopify, where you can embed your Facebook and your Instagram posts onto your website, have like an ever-changing feed. So as you add new posts, it changes, it adds it on your website. That's something you can do. But I feel like when you're in terms of social media versus your website, you do sort of have to treat them separately, especially when it comes to searchability. So you don't want to rely on the fact that you have a large following on social media to boost you up on Google, because that's, or, you know, like you said, ChatGPT, because that's just not how it works.
Okay, very helpful. Okay, here's a few more details. Sorry, my voice keeps giving out. Here's a few more details on how Google and AI decide what and who to show. So on the Google side of things, they're looking at the things we mentioned on the previous slide. They're looking at keywords, they're looking at content structure, page speed, mobile friendliness, trust signals, freshness. They want to know, is this site useful, trustworthy, and relevant to the searcher? On the AI side of things, as they're looking to bring the answer to the user that's searching, they're kind of looking at a much larger set of information. They're looking to find out if you have clear branding, if people know when they come on your site that what you're there selling and what you're there to help them understand, how well you're ranked on Google, how well you're doing with Google will definitely translate into AI finding you easier. They're also looking at how connected you are to others in the industry and or credible directories. Hint, hint, cowgirlbiz.com has a beautiful directory where you can have a free listing and a free backlink. They're also looking at any articles or blog posts where you've been mentioned on other sites. That gives you credibility. And then, of course, your product descriptions and about pages really help AI find you if you're describing your biz well. So AI tools don't typically quote unquote guess, although many of us have already determined in some of our searches that they may not be right all of the time, but they do their best to learn from whatever they can that you have online. And if your website isn't clear, they often will ignore it. Okay, I'm going to let Katelyn, I'm going to have you talk through this. 5 signs Google and AI might be ignoring you.
Yeah, so this is pretty easy. If you go or have someone who's like not you, don't use your computer, right? Because your computer already knows where you're trying to go. Have someone search for your website on Google or type, like, don't go to the URL, just type in your name and see what comes up. If your business name doesn't come up, and that's like for example, my business name is Wildflowers and Barley. If you type in Wildflowers and Barley and my business name doesn't come up at all, then we have a problem. So if you're not showing up on Google, you need to figure out why. A lot of that's going to go back to SEO. It's going to go back to, like Kim said, is your website relevant? Is it trustworthy? If I do a lot of custom hats. So if someone searches, custom baseball hat, if my web page doesn't come up, then we need to figure out why. It's again probably related to SEO, my product descriptions, quality product images, alt text, which is part of SEO, all of that, and then different keywords that I have in my website. So that's probably the easiest way to find out, where are you in terms of how are things finding you, is have someone else search that. Because if you search it on your own browser, your browser has a history, right? It knows what you're looking for. It's going to take you there. So you want to have someone else do it for you, see if you come up, or clear your cache and do it yourself. You can also do that.
Very helpful. Okay, let's start to get into the tools that we recommend. So Cowgirl Biz has been working with a variety of businesses over the last 8 months. Way back at the beginning of the year, we had several clients who were participating in what we called our Cowgirl Biz Rodeo, where they were learning all things SEO and how to get connected to all the tools. And from there, we started asking questions inside our Facebook group about who is connected to which of these tools and what are you using, and trying to get a sense for how well aware our businesses are about these tools. And it turns out that the awareness level is fairly low. So we've had, as we started running the SEO audits with our audience, and again, within the Facebook group for Cowgirl Entrepreneurs and Innovators, we've had quite a few businesses run their SEO audits. And as we explain to them, as you're getting ready to understand your business better, help it be found on Google, there's things you should be connected to. There's tools you should be using. And we get a lot of questions. I recall an email I did recently to our audience where I said, if you need any help with any of these tools, we're going to list them out. If you need any help with them, please email me back. And I received quite a few emails. So that's why we're here today, is to help you understand what these tools are, what they do, how to set, not specifically how to set them up. We'll give you some tips, but more importantly, which ones you should be connected to and what they can do for you. So we will be going through in more detail as the presentation progresses, but at a very high level, Google Analytics is your business intelligent partner. It's going to help you understand who's visiting your site, where they're coming from, and their user behavior on your site. We'll go across the top first. Google Search Console is what we call your SEO command center. This is where you're understanding what keywords are bringing people to your site. And this is also where you fix any SEO related issues or page errors and find out what's hurting your search rankings. This is where you can fix those. Google Merchant Center on the right-hand side is what starts to prepare you for having your products shown on Google when you're wanting to have them shoppable. Again, we're going to go into more detail as we go through the presentation. On the bottom left, we see the Google Business Profile. This was previously called Google My Business, and they've changed it to Google Business Profile. It's primarily utilized by those of you that have retail locations and can be found locally, maybe the tax shops, for example, in our industry. And in Katelyn's case, she has a retail location, so she wants to be found for anyone looking for cowgirl hats near them, as an example, or hat burning near them. But interestingly enough, it can be extremely helpful for those of you that are online only. There is a YouTube presentation that is on our channel from Lexi of the Wild Horse Company, and she shares that even though she doesn't have she has a mobile location, but even though she doesn't have a retail location, she strongly believes in making sure her business shows up in the Google Business Profile, because even people in her area might be searching for jewelry near turquoise jewelry, as an example, near them, and she'll show up even though she doesn't have a retail location, and they can buy online. So there's value to having your Google Business Profile set up, even if you are not a local physical retailer. The bottom three on the right, starting with Google Ads, we're going to just touch on today later in the presentation, but obviously Google Ads is where you start to put your products and your business specifically in, you're paying for these ads in front of different parts of Google, including YouTube. It's great for retargeting ads. Again, we're not going to dive into all those details today, but as you start to set up Google Ads, even if you aren't planning on running ads right away, one of the tools it gives you is the next one called the Google Keyword Planner. So being able to search for keywords related to your products and your business is a free tool, but you have to have the Google Ads set up. You don't have to be running or paying for ads, but you do have to have it set up in order to access the Keyword Planner. And then the Google Tag Manager, again, we're going to touch on it. It is something that is optional and not required, and it is definitely for more advanced users that are really progressing through the whole Google process and getting their products out there. So we'll touch on it at the end of the presentation. I put a tip here at the bottom because we've learned this recently as we're working with some of our clients and setting up all of these tools. And for example, one of the clients has her personal address being used in one Google Analytics account, and then she has her business email address in the Google Search Console. And so then it becomes a little complicated as we're trying to link them all together, trying to figure out, did we get the right Google Analytics account linked to her Shopify or not, based on the email address. So if you are just barely setting these up and or want to make sure you're trying to make it easier on yourself, the tip at the bottom is very helpful. Try to use your same email address. It's okay to use a personal one with Google, but more importantly, try to use the same email address for your business related to all of these tools, because they do connect to each other and it makes it much easier to find. Okay, so this grid is very helpful because there's a learning curve with each of these tools, and there's also the business impact that it can have. And you'll see this as we go into more detail on each of them. But the quick win, easy to set up, is the Google Business Profile. Google Search Console is the next easiest one to set up, as is using the Keyword Planner. But remember, you can't use the Keyword Planner unless you set up your Google Ads account. So keep that in mind. Now, Google Analytics has a lot bigger impact on your business, and we have a lot more details coming on that front. but it has more of a learning curve associated with it. And then on the far right-hand side, you can see Google Ads can have a huge business impact, as well as the Google Tag Manager and the Google Merchant Center. But they do have definitely more to learn about them and how to use them. Okay, this one is very similar to what we just spoke about. We wanted to leave it in here though, because we want you to, again, have a process for where to start. So please start with making sure you have your Google business profile. That's very easy. Then move on to the Google Search Console, then move into Google Analytics, and then move into Google Merchant Center. All right, now for the fun stuff. We're going to start to dig into what these do. First of all, we'll let Katelyn talk about this particular app.
Yeah, so if you have Shopify, you're probably familiar with apps, and this is technically a sales channel. So it's under Google and YouTube. So in your Shopify admin, you would add a sales channel, and then you would go in and add the Google and YouTube sales channel. The nice thing about this is it is going to walk you through a lot of the setup with things like GA4, Google Merchant Center, Google Ad Center. It will help you set all of those up and make sure that it is connected to your website.
Awesome. Okay, do you want to add any more comments about the Google business profile?
I don't know that I really have any more comment. I guess it's like, I do think it's necessary. Like you said, even if you don't have a physical location, it does let people know that you exist, and you can get things like reviews on Google for your business, which are very helpful. So I do recommend having it. If you do have a brick and mortar, you absolutely need it. That's how people are going to find directions to your store. You can put pictures of your storefront on there, products, like pictures of your products. Other people can upload pictures of things like maybe they found or they did at your shop. So I do think that everyone who has a business needs to have the Google business profile, and it's not hard. Like, they literally walk you through all the steps.
Perfect. All right. Okay, so Google Analytics versus Google Search Console. Again, when you're just getting started with all these tools, it's sort of like Google soup. It's like, which one is which and what am I supposed to do with it? So Katelyn, I'm going to let you walk through this.
Sure. So Google Analytics is, I would say, more data focused on what are people doing on your website. For example, how are they finding your website? Like, where are they, like, it tells you what sites are bringing people to you, but then what are they doing once they get there? Are they clicking on your menu and shopping? Are they signing up for your newsletter? Are they clicking through different products? Are they adding things to cart? Are they making purchases? Are they leaving right away? All of that stuff you can find in Google Analytics, whereas Google Search Console is more about helping you get people to find you. So things like keywords, how you can improve the SEO on your store. And so you can see, again, within Google Analytics, you can see where are people coming from. And then with Google Search Console, you can say, great, how can I get more people that way? Or maybe how can I get them in a different mode? Like, maybe I want them to come from this website, or I want them to come from this ad. And then we'll help you with the keywords, the SEO, and all of your issues that you might have with that.
Great. Okay, we're going to start to go through each of the tools in a little more detail. We've talked about Google Analytics, so we're going to go ahead and move into the more details about this particular tool. The key metrics to track. Yeah, go ahead, Katelyn.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, so as Kim was saying, key metrics that you need to track, these are things that you can find very easily in Google Analytics, things like conversion rate, average order value, bounce rate, how many sessions are happening on your SWAT site, and then traffic acquisition, which is where people are coming from. The biggest thing I want you to take away from this slide is once you get GA4 connected to your website, it takes time to collect data. So don't expect to see, amazing data revealing all of the issues on your site right away. You need to give it at least 3 months of collecting data before you can actually use it.
Okay.
All right, conversion rate. So this is one we've talked about a lot. It's a very interesting statistic in the e-commerce world. The average or good conversion rate for an e-commerce brand is 3%, which means if you have 100 people coming to your website, 3 of them make a purchase, that's your conversion rate, 3%, 3 out of 100. So it's very low. You expect it to be a lot higher, but it's actually really, really low. So one of the things you want to do is you want to find out what is your conversion rate and then how can you make it better. So if you are in Shopify, it's really easy to find. You're going to go into your Shopify admin, you're going to click on analytics, and you're going to scroll down until you see conversion rate over time. Now you can change this to look at like the whole year, to look at a month, to look at a week, to look at a day. Shopify does give you that ability, and you'll see how many people visited your website versus how many people actually made a purchase. One of the only things here, Shopify is not as detailed as Google Analytics. Now in Google Analytics, it's a little bit different. You can go to, in your Google Analytics, you're going to go to reports, which is like that little blue circle over there on the left-hand side. And then you're going to click on, yep, that. And then you're going to click on acquisition and then traffic acquisition. And you're going to scroll down and you're going to see this chart, and you're going to have to scroll to the right to move everything over. And you'll see where it says session key event rate. Now this, is going to be very similar to your conversion rate. So essentially, like, what is a big event that's happening on your website? And a big event would be someone making a purchase. So here you can see where it says, 0.87%, there's $185 worth of revenue, and that's the conversion rate versus how many people visited the website. The one thing you have to know with GA4 is that this is including all key events that are happening on your website. So someone signing up for a newsletter, someone adding things to cart, that sort of thing is all going to be in here. So if you want it to specifically track only sales and give you that conversion rate, you do have to create what's called an exploration within GA4. Now, an exploration, it sounds scary. It's basically like an email flow, but for data. So you're saying, hey, I want you to track, this specific event that's happening on my website, and I want you to report it to me. And that's something that you would just, we'd have to like teach you how to do that another time.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah. Okay. One thing that you can also do, if you're not sure where to find things in Google Analytics, is use the search bar at the very top. So for example, if you want to know your average order volume, in Google Analytics, you go to your search bar, type in average order volume, and they call it average purchase revenue, but it will pop up on the right-hand side. In Shopify, it's the same thing. You're going to go to Analytics, scroll down until you see it. So the average order volume or average order value for a typical e-commerce store is $110 per order. Obviously, this is going to be different depending on what you sell. If you're selling high-end items like custom leather bags or tack, or you're doing photography sessions, your order values are going to be higher than someone who sells very small items like pens, stickers, downloadable content, that sort of thing. So you do need to keep that in mind. And essentially what you want to do is you want to use this to say, where am I at now and how can I improve this?
Very helpful. Okay.
Bounce rate. Okay, so we like to talk about bounce rate. So bounce rate is when someone gets on your site and then immediately leaves. The bounce rate is actually very high. Industry standard is about 30%. So that means 30%, if you have 100 people visit your website, 30 of them are going to leave right away. There's a lot of reasons why this may happen. One of the main reasons is keywords, right? So for example, if you are selling oil for people to make candles, and then someone is out there searching for oil to make food, they might come across your website, but then they get on there and realize, oh, this isn't the type of oil I'm looking for, and they're going to leave. So that's why keywords and SEO really, really matter in terms of your website, because you do want to have a lower bounce rate. You want to keep people on your site, which means you need to find the right people, which again goes back to you need to have the right keywords and SEO on your website. Again, in GA4, if you want to find this, just go to the search bar and type in bounce rate, and it'll pull it right up for you.
Yeah, that's a very nice quick tip.
Super nice.
Right.
Sessions. Okay, so a session is when someone visits your site. So basically, when someone actually enters your website and then leaves it, everything that happens within that is a session. The same person can have multiple sessions on your website within a day, within a month, all of those things. The benchmark goal for e-commerce is 5,000 sessions a month, which is really high. That seems really high. But it makes a lot of sense because if you're getting less than 5,000 sessions per month, things like conversion rate are probably not going to be accurate. You want to get that 5,000 per month so that the rest of your data makes sense. If you're not at that mark, then you need to figure out what you need to do to get people to your website. And that's why we do things like SEO and keywords and ads and all of these things that we keep talking about, because that's what brings people to your website.
So I had some fun searching through our clients as well as Cowgirl Biz, and I was fascinated to see that sessions and getting to that 5,000 per month is not as easy as it looks. For those of you that are listening that are already there, fantastic, but it's a process and a work in progress for all of you that are wanting to get there. And if you're not having the sales that you want, this is definitely one of the areas to work on, trying to get more traffic and increase and get up to or above 5,000 sessions per month. And then I think you're going to see your sales happen as a result.
Okay, acquisition. So cannot talk. Acquisition is just where are people coming from? How are you acquiring your clients, your customers? So if you're in Google Analytics, you can, again, go over to reports, go down to traffic. There's an acquisitions overview, and it'll give you a list of the websites that are driving people to your website. So for example, in this, you see that Google brought 8 sessions that day. 3 people came from Facebook. 1 person came from cowgirlbiz.com. This is really, really helpful because it's going to show you where are people coming from, where are they not coming from. Like maybe you're like, okay, maybe I really need to work on getting more people from the Visit Springfield, Illinois site. Or you can say, hey, this, Google over here is working really well for me. I want to focus on that and just have it continue to bring me more people.
Great. Okay, so we touched on Google Search Console, and I highlighted specifically, I categorize this in my brain as the one that's highlighted or bolded as the tool where you go to identify and fix your technical website issues. It does help you do the other things that are listed here, but we're going to go ahead and show you a screenshot so you can kind of see one of the areas to look at here inside Google Search Console. Go ahead, Katelyn.
Yeah, so this one is really interesting to me. When you're inside Google Search Console, again, you have to connect it to your site and then you got to give it some time. It's not going to show up right away. But once it's been there for a while, you can go in and click on this Insights tab, and it's going to give you a lot of really interesting data. One of which is clicks. So that's when people actually click on a link that leads to your website. Whether it's like a blog post or maybe a link within Facebook. And then the other one's impressions. And that's how many people actually see your site from a search typically. So like, for example, someone searches custom hats, they scroll and they see my website, that's an impression. And then what I really like is if you go down there at the bottom, it says queries leading to your site. So this is like the top searches that people are putting in, and then that's leading them to actually click on your URL and go to your website. And this is really interesting because you can, again, with your other keyword tools, you can either improve this or you can see, again, like, are people searching for a specific type of oil that's leading them to your candle making website, but it's not right? Like, we need to change those keywords so people aren't coming to your website.
And specifically under that middle section here with your content, you can click on the top content that they're finding. You can click on the content of what's trending up versus what's trending down. So, for example, we've been working with Western Kids Emporium, and because August is back to school month, I'm not surprised that this is one of her top categories of information and content that's being found. But for example, if you're trying to have something for a certain month be found and you're in that month or close to it, if it's not yet in your top, that tells you that you have some work to do, like Katelyn was saying. And same thing, it is very related to the queries leading to your site. Same thing, you can go and, this is a screenshot, so we don't have all of them listed here, but you can do the same thing. What were the top queries? What were the ones that are trending up? And what were the ones that are trending down to help you find that? And again, because this is a screenshot, we're not live. I can't show you how to click into these things, but here's an example. When you do have all your tools set up and you do have them linked to each other, a lot of these tools do link to each other. Here's a case where from the Google Merchant Center, they're coming in here as well. So again, we are currently inside the Google Search Console. We're currently looking at a screenshot of the insights, which gives you kind of a high level overview. But for those of you that are working on some of the issues in your site, you're going to want to become familiar with the site maps, the pages that are having issues, your web vitals, etc. So anything else about Search Console?
No, I think that pretty much sums it up. Like you said, when they all connect together, there's a lot you can do with it that's very helpful.
Yeah. Okay, Google Merchant Center. So this one is what you use to start getting yourself and your products ready for being shown on Google. And again, Katelyn, go ahead.
So again, if you're using Shopify and you've connected the Google and YouTube sales channel, it's going to prompt you to get set up with Google Merchant Center, and then it's automatically going to pull your products from your website to the Google Merchant Center. And what this means is that your products are now shoppable straight from Google. So if you've ever searched something on Google, like let's say you searched, pink cowgirl boots, and then you can click on the shop tab and you can shop right there on Google. That's what this does. And then of course, it allows Google to find your products easier. So it can direct people to your website as well, which I think it's so easy to use. Like, you should do it.
Okay.
It's so easy.
I think we have a few more. Yeah, here's a few more data points about Google Merchant Center.
Yes. So one of the things I like about Google Merchant Center is Google does have a lot of rules on things that you need to have within your product listing, or they're not going to show it to people. So if you see all the way over there to the right, it says your business on Google. You go down, it says your total products, what's approved, what's not approved, what's maybe limited. If you have things that are not approved, you probably want to go in and check on those and see why. Sometimes you're just missing like a meta field, like the age range of the product, whether it's new or used, things like that. It's usually a really quick, easy fix. Sometimes it's like I have items that I sell in my physical shop that I do not have on my website. Google recognizes that because the way I have it set up in my Shopify. So I think I have like 50 items under not approved because they're not available to the Google sales channel because I didn't have them listed that way. And then of course you have your performance over here on Google, which shows how many people are clicking on your products or your website. And then if you have ad campaigns, it's going to have that data in there as well, which is really nice. It's just another tool that you can use to look at all of these data points that are pointing to your website.
And you need to have Google Merchant Center before you can actually run ads. So they are sort of all tied together, but today's presentation, we're not focused on how to run Google Ads or what to do, but we are talking about if you're getting yourself all set up for it, what you need to have set up. And then specifically for Google Ads, as a reminder, you get access to the keyword planner if you have a Google Ads account. You don't have to be running ads to get access to the keyword planner, but it is a really fun tool on finding keywords. And then Google Ads specifically helps you do things like show up. Crazy enough, can you imagine if you could show ads on a specific YouTube channel? Think how cool that is. Like if there's an audience that's already built by somebody else, Google Ads allows you to do that, but you've got to have all those things set up that we've been talking about in order to get yourself ready to run Google Ads. So we are, and you'll see some more information here at the end of the presentation, but we are preparing for August as part of our SEO summer at Cowgirl Biz to be all about learning ads, not just Google Ads, but Facebook ads as well. And so we're going to have an opportunity to have work together with other businesses, learn how to do your ads, and then work together to figure out, was that a great result or not a great result, or what could I fix? Again, our goal here at Cowgirl Biz is to get you ready for the fall. The fall is not far away. We're already halfway through the summer. And if we can get you ready and all these tools set up and you're ready to go, you're just going to be ahead of the game of many of your competitors in regards to your campaigns and everything you want to do for the fall and holiday sales. So anything else specifically related to Google Ads or Keyword Planner, Katelyn?
No, actually, I think you hit the nail on the head with that one.
All right. Okay, so Google Tag Manager. This is a challenging one, and I don't understand a huge amount about it, but again, keep in mind that it is optional. You don't have to have it, and it is tailored toward advanced users. So Katelyn, you did some more research on what this is about.
Yeah, so Google Tag Manager essentially is just like one central location where you can manage all of your Google tags. And if you don't know what a Google tag is, that's okay. A Google tag is a snippet of code that is embedded on your website that allows data to be processed. So for example, when you set up your Google sales channel, you add GA4 Google Analytics to your website, it's adding a tag, a GA4 tag to your website, and that tag is what pulls the data over to GA4. So Google Analytics uses it, Google Search Console uses it. If you have like third-party email sites, they can use it. So essentially, Google Tag Manager is just one central location where you can create and manage your tags, add them to your website without having to go in and actually edit your code of your website, which is nice because you don't have to worry about like messing anything up.
And Shopify kind of helps with this. Like, I think it sort of auto sets it up to some extent. Is that correct?
Yeah, so I think you have to set it up in order to get GA4 set up within Shopify because they don't want you going in and messing with your website's code. So they set it up so that you can do that, not mess anything up. And then once you get more advanced, you're down the road, you're running ads. You can also create specific tags for ad campaigns and it adds it to your website. So you can say, hey, this ad campaign over here on Facebook brought in this many people to my website, and this ad campaign over here on Shopify, or I mean on Instagram, brought this many people to my website. So it is useful. It's definitely more advanced, but I think we'll get there.
All right. So we mentioned that we have a beautiful SEO website report. You can see what it looks like here on the bottom of the screen. When you run it, you get a grade and you can get even subgrades, I call it, for the 5 things listed below it: your on-page SEO, the links, usability, performance, social, etc. This is free to run. You can run it as often as you want. We've had businesses that run it, go and do their homework, figure out what to fix inside their report, and then come back and run it to see if their website score has improved. If you want to take the audit, it's at cowgirlbiz.com/SEO-Academy. It will generate in less than a minute or two. It will generate you a beautiful report that you get sent to your email and via PDF, and you can go all the way through it. Last week on our YouTube presentation, I should say last week on our workshop that we did, which you can find on our YouTube channel, we went into all the details about this report, how to understand it, and what to fix. So be sure to go tune into that once you run your report so you can have some tips on how to fix it. And we are super excited again for this entire summer to be focusing on all things SEO and helping you as businesses grow and learn. Some of you that have been following our journey know that I started a Facebook group last September, almost a year ago, and that was for Cowgirl entrepreneurs and innovators. And together we learned all kinds of things about business as well as networking and collaboration and beautiful business relationships. And I've seen so many, we've had podcast owners, we've had businesses that are getting themselves on Amazon. We've had businesses that have collaborated and made huge progress on their businesses because of the collaboration. It's a fantastic group to be in. However, what we realized is as we transitioned into the summer months, we wanted to help. We realized what the businesses were missing, we'll put it that way, from the perspective of being either in e-commerce or wanting to get found on Google. And this came about because we built the Cowgirl Biz directory, where we have over 1,000 businesses listed on the cowgirlbiz.com site. And as we were building the SEO for each of those listings, we were realizing that SEO is an undertapped tool set, so to speak, and an undertapped aspect of digital marketing in the Western industry that we want to be here to help be your partner to understand what it is. We are tagging it as SEO the Cowgirl way, which means, yes, you can figure it out. We're going to make it simple and easy to understand. And so we're super excited about our YouTube SEO playlist that launched a few weeks back. And currently on there, you can find the intro as to how we got started on it, as well as the interview that we did with Lexi, where she talks about how SEO really impacted her jewelry brand and helped it take off. And then there's also a fabulous episode about the step-by-step of what she does with her alt text, with her product descriptions, with her reverse image searching. So be sure to tune into all of those on our channel. And as I mentioned, August is just around the corner, and we're gearing up to try to figure out how to help all of you with ads, as well as take those of you that are ready to actually run campaigns and join forces in a very small curated group. We're still putting the details together for exactly how this will work, but you will need to be on all the tools we just talked about. You will need to be on Google Search Console, Google Analytics, Google Merchant Center, Google Ads, etc. This ad group that we're trying to set up will be both for Meta Business Manager, which is what you see on the bottom right-hand side, as well as for Google Ads. And what we're here to do is help you learn how to do your ads, and then help you have a collaborative group of other entrepreneurs that are at the same stage of you in your journey and running ads, where you can be benchmarking each other's ads with each other. For example, it is highly recommended that once you're starting to run ads, it's really almost a mathematical game or a laboratory, so to speak, where you've got to keep track of what your ads are doing and you make adjustments. And that's what this group is intended to help you do together. So for example, you can imagine a session where we all come together and we showcase the ads that are running, and you can see across on the bottom right-hand side there the cost per result. And you could be asking, okay, well, is that a good cost per result, or should it be higher or lower? In fact, we had this come up on a client call this week where it was sitting under $1, and we were like, is that good or bad? And really what we were looking at, because we're at this testing stages with this particular client, is the difference between the ads. So she's running a couple ads on one subject and a couple ads on another. And at the early stages of figuring out how your ads work, that's what it's all about, is testing and figuring out, oh, the audience seems to like this one. They're clicking through at a much lower rate and it's reaching more people, all these good things. But these are things that if you're running ads or want to run ads, it's great to have the collaboration aspect, and it's great to be talking with other business owners that are at the same stage as you. And that is the goal of what we're calling our DIY Ads Summer Camp. If you're interested, you can go to cowgirlbiz.com/ads, and there's a mini application there just so we have a little bit more knowledge about what you're trying to do with your business. And we'd love for you to be part of that. All right. We are super grateful that you were here with us today. As I've mentioned, Cowgirl Biz is all about being your partner in all things business in the Western industry. And Katelyn, I can't thank you enough for being part of our overall journey since way back in day one last September. We've done a lot of fun things together, and specifically today, thank you so much for sharing all your insights.
Yeah, thank you for having me on.
All right, take care, everybody. Bye-bye.